You don't know that. You don't know that. I'm hearing talks of having Scotty be the full-time point guard.
That's nuts.
That is nuts.
Like he's
That's
going to play
crazy.
like the Ben Simmons type of role.
He's no Ben Simmons, man. I'm sorry.
But
He's not. He's definitely not.
he's better.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Look at his face.
Welcome back to another episode of Quarter Kings. You're with your host, Austin Chang, and with me, of course, every other week is Ryan Hugh. How you doing, bro?
Good, bro. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing alright, just a bit tired, Woke up early. Of course, we're recording early nowadays, but that's besides the point. So, actually, I want to give you the opportunity to introduce a topic this week, so why don't you go ahead?
All right. So this week we're going to be talking about a few free agency stuff. We're going to dive into the trades, the free agency signings that went down, potential landing free agents, and Damian Lillard. We're going to talk a bit about him as well. But
Still talking about this guy? We're still talking about Damian?
yes, sir.
Shit,
sir.
dude.
But we don't do this alone. That's our thing.
Of
So
course.
let's go right into it. He'll shoot through anyone. He'll take any foul, but he'll always finish strong. He's the boxer, Andre Plowel.
I appreciate the introduction, man. I do.
Look at this guy. This guy never appreciates my rhymes. Austin just
No,
shaking
man,
his
it's
head.
great. It's great, dude. It's great.
So yeah, welcome Andre. Andre's another friend from school.
What's up, everyone?
Yep. Andre has his own channel too. He is also a content creator. So go subscribe to that if you can.
You gotta link it though. They don't even know what it is. What is it?
Plow Fit.
Outfit? Oh, it's fitness.
Yeah. It's
Okay,
actually a
bet.
mix. It's like fitness. It's like fitness, lifestyle, and boxing as well. Everything in one.
Oh,
Motivation.
I see.
He's very
Yeah.
motivational. Yeah. Give that a look if you guys can. Yeah. All right. So, like I do with any other guest, Andre, who is your favorite player?
Kobe Bryant. That's easy.
Safe
Good
answer. Safe answer.
Safe answer. What about current?
Current. Jimmy
Yeah.
Butler.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I
better
see-
than
I
the
see-
last ones we've had.
Not the glazing.
Yeah, no
Not the
glazing.
glazing. What about team?
Team. Well, definitely Raptors. Obviously, Raptors is one. Because of Kobe. No, actually, I've been a Laker fan my whole life too. So those are the two for sure.
Damn, okay. So
Yeah.
were you satisfied or unsatisfied with the postseason run the Lakers had this year?
Well, any person would tell you. Like we all saw memes on the internet, like about how people were trolling the Lakers at the start of the season, and then to see where they finished. Come on, man! Especially beating Golden State. So that was in my opinion having to go against Denver, and Denver was a powerhouse in the postseason, right? So
Sure.
I would hats off to them having to turn it around, especially with the mid season moves they made. Getting Rui and Russell. So I was satisfied with that performance, man.
Even though it was a sweep?
Yeah, listen,
Yeah.
man. It is
They
what
shouldn't
it
have been in the
is, man.
playoffs, bro. Like they barely
Yeah.
made the playoffs, dude. They were going crazy in the last few games just to
No,
make the
you're right,
playoffs.
you're right,
Them
you're
making
right.
the conference finals is crazy.
Fair enough. I just know some people weren't satisfied with because they were like LeBron doesn't get swept.
Oh, bro, what?
But
Yeah.
like LeBron's he was pushing 37. He's 38 now, and it's like he was pulling the team. So for them to just go as far as they did, considering how the season started, it's a win, man. Any person who wants more, I understand because the Lakers are a winning franchise,
Yeah.
but sometimes it is what it is.
Fair enough. All right. Let's go right into the topics. Today I want to start with the free agency grading. So we're just going to be teachers, quote unquote, and we're going to say what grade we're going to give each of these signings that I'm going to mention. Cool with that?
Let's do it.
Do it? All right. So some of these I'm not going to mention. They're like hella small, but I think I thought of some of the more big deals, and we're going to take into consideration fit, contract, and length of the contract.
Okay.
All right. So my number one thing that I thought was pretty interesting, the Cavs signing George Niang to a 3-year, $26 million contract. Andre, let's start with you. What do you grade this?
Um, Honestly, I haven't really been too kept up with the Cavs, so I can't really give too much of a grade on that type of player. I don't want to seem like someone who's just talking, you know. So I wasn't too focused on the Cavs, so I can't really give anything on that.
All right. Okay. That's fair. What do you think of George Niang as a player?
Yeah, listen. Honestly, you're saying his name. That's like the first time I'm hearing it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's cool. Don't worry about it. Austin?
Yeah.
Bro, honestly, you said like most interesting, and you start with George Niang, bro. That's a bit crazy, bro. But they did need a three. Like Isaac or Carl, like probably wasn't going to be a good starting three. Osman's I think is already gone. Like they needed someone to fill that gap, and for 3 years, why not bring someone in that can be a 3 and D guy? We've seen him be productive in Philadelphia. Obviously, last season, Philadelphia's shooting like they none of them could shoot. Like none of the role
Yep.
players could shoot. But in the past, we've seen that he can provide some of that boost. Like I don't know why I want to say this name, but like a Dylan Brooks kind of fit. Like he's pesky defender, but he can shoot on the other end. Maybe not the best time to bring up Dylan Brooks, but yeah, I think it's probably a B or a B plus. You know, it's not a bad deal bringing someone that's 3 and D. Why not?
26 mil, I think that's a fair enough contract for 3 years. I gave it a B plus as well.
For sure.
Let's not go too long since Andre doesn't know this guy. But Grizzlies signed Derrick Rose to a 2-year, $6.5 million contract. I think you know this guy.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
What do you think?
Honestly, I think it was an interesting move, but a smart move, considering all the drama that's been going on in Memphis, and considering what that we all know the trouble Jaw's been in. What better player to bring in as a veteran than Derrick Rose, someone who's been at the top, who's led Chicago, had a deep playoff run, youngest MVP in NBA history. Why not have a player like that come in, try and mentor him for 2 years, prepare him, so then when his time is up, Jaw can take the team to where um they're potentially able to go. So I really like that move in terms of not more so in terms of like I get it, they're a young team, but the mentorship for Jaw, that's how I looked at it.
Hmm, I like
Oh,
that.
and
I like
a grade, I would give it about a B plus. I really would.
it's also Derrick Rose's homecoming in terms of where he played in college.
That's
If you
very true.
guys,
Actually.
Even
yeah,
change his number for it too
yeah. So, do you think he'll change back to the number?
to 23.
Yeah.
Oh, he already did. His jersey's 23.
Oh, for sure. I didn't see that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's sick. That's sick. But yeah, Derrick Rose. Austin, what are your thoughts?
I'd give it an A plus. Like I think there's no better scenario to sign a guy like D Rose. I think he knows at this point. Like, okay, here's the thing. I think with D Rose, I think he still has something left in the tank. I seen him back in Detroit 2021. He's still a productive player when he starts, but I guess he's more comfortable with being kind of this mentor in this mentor role now. Like he doesn't want to go too crazy with the minutes, especially with the injuries his body has been through. So why not 6.5 million for 2 years? That's such a cheap price for a backup point guard who I think can actually provide when he plays. And he only needs to play about 25 games of like big minutes, just because of Jaw's suspension. And when Jaw's back, he can settle back into that leadership role. Like there's no better guy you want to bring in to help mentor that team. So yeah, definitely an A plus for me.
I'm giving it an A minus simply because of when he plays. Because uh, Memphis does need a backup point guard, but if you're a backup point guard, not saying he's unreliable, but if he is kind of injury prone, I don't know who you're gonna slide up. Like Desmond Bain up to the one. I'm not too
Hmm.
sure how that'll work
I'm.
out,
I
right?
mean, the thing is, I mean, the last few seasons, he actually has been relatively healthy. He just doesn't play. He just doesn't get the minutes. And I mean, he's had almost a year off, a full rest. He's been recovering probably this off season. Like I think he should be ready to go. And every team has injuries. If they don't have a point guard, like I think you can slot up even like David Roddy up to that spot. Like he's shown that he has some ball control in him. So like
Big
it's
guy, Kenny Lofton.
nah, nah, not Kenny Lofton, bro. Kenny Lofton's gonna break the floor if he starts dribbling, bro.
Yeah, but I think A minus for me. But I love the signing. I think the
Yeah,
mentorship is going to be for real there.
yeah.
Yeah,
Anywhere D
absolutely.
Rose goes, I love D Rose, man. Like anywhere he goes, I support it, bro.
For sure, for sure. Might just have to copy jersey.
Nah, not a jersey, not a jersey.
uh, this is another homecoming. The Heat trade Victor Oladipo back to the Thunder. Yeah, thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I listen. The situation in Oklahoma is a little interesting. You know, um, in the past few seasons, they struggling to find that identity, going from they had Russ, and then they brought in Shea, and Shea being the starting guard and everything, and then now Victor Oladipo going back. I mean, I think it'll definitely he'll definitely add a spark to the team because we know he's an explosive scorer and he can get things done, and just a matter of him staying healthy because I know he's been battling injuries consistently, right? So, I would say I'm stuck, man. You know what? I'll just give it an A for now because I haven't
An
really
A?
kept too much. Yeah,
And you're uncertain, so you give it an A?
yeah.
Damn, bro.
Yo,
So
you'd be a great teacher, bro.
how I see it is him potentially being back. You know, especially as someone who's been a veteran and bounced around. Like he can like explain to these young players coming in that sometimes you think a spot's guaranteed for you and it's really not. And he bounced around a lot, so maybe he can provide some guidance to that locker room because it is a young team. So
Fair,
yeah,
fair.
I feel like this trade was probably just a cap dump for Miami. I mean, they really were stuck on their books, and in all honesty, like I love Oladipo, but right now he's injured, and I think this trade was just made for OKC to waive him. I think they're just gonna waive Oladipo. I think he's injured at this moment currently, and just sending back 2 second round picks. Like this is just a trade from Miami to make to free up cap space for a Dame trade maybe. So I
mm-hmm.
mean, it's probably just like a C for me. Like I think this is just one of those trades that you just make for business. But if Oladipo does stick around in OKC, like it's definitely an interesting veteran presence. Like just to have him around some of the young guys because they really don't have any vets. I think they're the youngest team in the league right now.
Yeah,
So
they don't. They
yeah,
don't.
so just to have someone that can talk to these young guys, and you're right, Oladipo has been on a couple of teams. He has been on I feel like every role he's been on, like he's been a bench guy, he's been kind of a starter that just doesn't touch the ball. He's
A
been that
box
guy in
score.
Indiana, and
Mm-hmm.
in Miami he was that guy that just came off as a spark plug off the bench. So I think he does have a lot of valuable information to give to these young guys.
Yeah.
I think for Oladipo, it's kind of a homecoming since he was in OKC with Russ, and now he has a new alpha. He has Shea there. So, but they don't have any veteran presence like you guys said earlier. So, him being a bench guy, since you don't want to eat up Josh Giddey's minutes, you don't want to eat up Lou Dort's minutes. So, I think Victor Oladipo being there, he can be like, yo, the hustle guy. He kind of fulfills the Derrick Rose role back in New York, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
Because past injury guy, but now he's the old guy. So talking to the young ones like that, I think it's a B. I think I think Miami had to do what they had to do for Dame, but it was smart for the Thunder to bring in Oladipo
Yeah, and they have a lot of cap space. Like why not just bring someone in?
and
But
a buttload of draft picks, so it wasn't anything for them.
yeah, yeah, they need to get rid of some of these draft picks because they got to the point where they have too many draft picks and not enough roster spots. Like they had like I don't know, they got to do something with these picks.
Okay, here's been my thing. I think the NBA should consider like increasing roster spots to like 17 or 18, considering the amount of talent that is coming into the league now.
But then the cap space would be kind of an issue, wouldn't it?
I mean, veteran veteran minimums and minimum contracts can just go around like that easily.
I guess, yeah, because they still have 2-way contracts. That's like an extension. That's like 17 roster spots in a way.
hmm
But
But
yeah, I think
like
yeah, some
increase it
guys,
to the
yeah, some guys just aren't getting playing time. Some guys are just not on rosters that should be on rosters. So yeah, I could see that being like a change that they can
it's
make.
the same thing for like, in my opinion, all-star rosters. I know this is a little off topic, but I think they should increase the number of players that make the all-star team each year because that pool was only for when the league was like 24 teams, 26 teams, and now it's 30 teams. But consistently each year they bring in so many like there's so much better talent nowadays that making snubs is such an easy thing to do because there's so much talent that goes around, right?
I kind of like it though. I like having like this kind of like a competition or like I feel like NHL they have a thing where like they just kind of have one guy from every team and like sometimes there are guys that make the All-Star team that shouldn't even be there. I'd rather have it be competitive and like have guys be snubbed a lot than have just like a bunch of random guys in the All-Star team. Because even the last few seasons, like LaMelo Ball probably shouldn't have been an All-Star. Like there's some guys that probably shouldn't make it that are making it, and injuries play a part. So I feel like every year like it's still consistent. Like you'll still get guys that are young that get in. The vets will probably get their spot. So I think the All-Star is fine for now.
For now. Andre, what do you think of that?
Um, I was like, I'm actually torn between you two because you guys both bring up good points, right? But I am a fan of them increasing it, but also like Austin said, like sometimes you get some guys get snubbed, and then you're just having random players in. Like Lamelo Ball was a good example. Even though I do feel like that particular season, I would actually give him a spot because he was playing out of his mind, right? But I'm actually torn, so I can't really make a definitive point on that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, like, I just think roster spots should be increased, maybe like one
Mm-hmm.
spot or something. But I think that wouldn't even need to happen in the next few seasons, considering the potential for expansion teams to come in.
Correct. Correct.
That would be
Speaking of
crazy.
which, speaking of which, where do you guys think these teams will be held?
I mean, there's one obvious answer,
New
and
Mexico.
New Mexico. Nah, yeah, Maine, bro. Maine needs a team, dude.
It's a team.
I think that okay. I'll just point the two obvious ones. I think Vegas and Seattle are probably the two most likely destinations. That's what they've been
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Supersonics back.
and some with Vegas because they're just getting teams everywhere.
Andre?
But
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd have to agree with those two. I would like even the season where they moved Seattle to OKC. I wasn't even like I don't know the details of it, but I know that something went down where Seattle kind of got like shafted for that team. So I'd like to see a team back in Seattle. I would love to see a team in Las Vegas. Because they've just been over the past 5 6 years they've just been blowing up with teams, right? So that'd be cool. And me, we're both Canadian, all of us Canadian, so I would like to see a team back in Vancouver.
Vancouver, yes, sir.
Honestly, so I would love to see that. Two Canadian teams, right? Come on.
yeah,
I
like
think, yeah.
we need more than one. Come on, like we could kind of have the Raptors represent all of Canada.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like you got an East Coast Canadian team and you got a West Coast Canadian team.
Right, right.
Exactly, man.
Yeah. I think Vancouver is definitely a spot for me. I would also love to see expansion down even further below Mexico City or Tijuana. I
Okay.
think that offers a lot of potential for fans from South America and Central America to join in on the fray as well,
Mm-hmm.
since expansion is such a big part. Like the NBA is actually just an international sport now. It's you see players from Europe, from Africa, from Asia, like they're all just coming all together in the U.S. to play. So I think having teams in Mexico and Canada would be a great idea. But if we're sticking to like the U.S. only, Seattle, Nevada, or Las Vegas, and I'm gonna say it, Alabama. They got a
Alabama.
I think Alabama got a big basketball crowd there, especially with the college team there. So I think Alabama wouldn't be a bad choice.
Yeah, I was thinking you mean like Louisville, like somewhere East Coast that it's like kind of near Carolina. Like they don't have a lot of teams there. I feel like they could maybe add one more over there, maybe.
Or consider adding a West Coast team and moving Memphis back to the Eastern Conference because it does not make sense for them
Yeah, the
to
geography is
be
a bit crazy.
uh, maybe like Montana or Kansas, but I don't know yet.
It needs to be a good sounding city. Like you can't have Montana. Like Montana just doesn't sound like an NBA team.
I mean, Montana Hannah is like Hannah Montana. I don't know, but
Stop, stop. Too much rhyming for you, bro. You're not a rapper, Ryan.
But yeah, those were the cities that I think could have a team potentially. Definitely want to see Vancouver though.
I would love to see that too.
No.
All right, all right. Lakers signed Gabe Vincent from the Miami Heat to a 3-year, $33 million contract. How are we thinking about that? Austin,
Uh,
yeah, Andre, yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
Um, I don't like know too much about Gabe Vincent's game, but I know that he was playing a good role for Miami. So considering where the Lakers were and how the season ended, I understand why they picked him up. I think it was a good fit for the team. They're just gonna have to work out like the in terms of like the guard positions what they're gonna do because I think now they have a bunch of guards now, so they have to work something out there. Um, but yeah, so I would give it a B plus. Honestly, I like him.
Yeah, I think Gabe Vincent. I mean, I like Gabe Vincent as a player. Like he's a good shooting guard. Not shooting. He's a good shooting guard. Like he's a guard that can shoot.
Mhm.
And for 10 million, like it doesn't hurt to bring him in. Like if it was for a bit more than that, maybe I'll be kind of skeptical because I feel like his game, he just kind of got lucky in this situation in Miami because he's probably not a starting point guard for most championship teams or even like contending teams. But if he's gonna be coming off the bench playing maybe like third line minutes because he's behind Reeves, probably Russell as well. Like why not? 10 million doesn't hurt. He can shoot. He can defend. He's kind of in that Damian Lee role. I feel like that's a comparison I can bring up. Maybe even Ty Jerome. Uh, maybe a bit of Landry Shaman, just something that can come off and give a bit of a spark, a different look to teams. So I mean, probably just a C plus. Like I'm not moved by the move at all, but it doesn't hurt to bring him in for 10 million.
I give it a B. I think Gabe Vincent leaving Miami for nothing because they didn't get anything in return. That's a big steal by the Lakers, considering Miami no longer has that that point guard anymore. But his fit is what. Not that it confuses me. I'm just not too sure about his rotation right now.
Right.
Since D'Lo's definitely starting. Reeves is probably your next man off the bench.
Off the
So
bench, Reeves off the no Reeves has got to play 40 minutes, bro.
you think so?
Russell better accept that bench role or something because Reeves is their third best player.
Okay. What do you say, man? But I think Gabe Vincent being the, a guy off the bench for sure.
Mm.
10 million, not that bad of a price considering the contracts that are given out nowadays. But still, I don't know what his fit is. I don't know what he's a little undersized too, no?
He's
Or
like 6'1", around there.
yeah,
Like, yeah.
it's a little tough for him to find a role, especially with all these like guys towering above him. So I'm gonna give it a B, and we'll see from here. But I did like the move considering Lakers kind of just snagged him up.
Yeah, I mean Miami didn't have a choice. So like, if they traded Gabe Vincent, who is their point guard? Like, they had no point guards on that roster. So,
That's why they're clearing up for Dame.
oh man, if they don't get Dame, that'd be so embarrassing. They could have had Bradley Beal.
Could have, but that didn't happen. The Pacers sign Bruce Brown to a 2-year, 45 million contract. Austin, let's start with you on this one.
Yeah, this is a really big deal. One of the more surprising ones for me because I mean I thought Bruce Brown was just gonna sign that 2 year deal with Denver State or the 1+1 where he's probably gonna opt out, get a big contract next year. But I was surprised to see Indiana send that offer sheet. They've been really active this offseason.
Mhm.
But his fit in Indiana, it actually works. He can be their starting three guard, even though he's a bit undersized. He can still play up to positions like that. And I mean, I don't know what their direction is. I don't know what they want to do. It seems like they want to start competing soon, and to offer him a contract this big, like he's probably gonna be playing starting minutes. But I actually like Bruce Brown. I've been higher on him, and I'll probably give it a B. Like usually with these kind of deals where you kind of sign a guy that played well on a championship team, they get overpaid. It seems like, but I think when Bruce Brown in his game translates to a lot of teams. So yeah, it doesn't hurt to bring him in as their 3 and D guy, and especially now that he's been actually, I feel like every season he's been improving on something. Like his finishing was better last season. He improved his shooting this season. Like this is a guy that could still be improving right now. So maybe this could look like a decent contract, and by the time it's done. So yeah, probably a B or a B plus.
Nice, nice. Andre?
Yeah. Once again, I don't know too much
Bruce Brown?
on
You don't know
Bruce
Bruce
Brown. Bro,
Brown?
honestly, I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys. Around like playoff season, semester got like real busy,
Oh,
and
Mm.
right.
I was also competing and stuff. So it was hard for me to catch up on games and while trying to manage the schoolwork. So I
That's
do
valid.
know a little bit about him, but not enough to be like, yeah, I could give a definitive report on him. So I have to
Mm.
pass on this one.
Nah, but we agree he's cool though, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, he's
He's
definitely
cool. Bad.
I like the signing. Pacers getting Bruce Brown, considering he was probably the number three best player during the championship run.
No, he wasn't, right?
Number three or four at times in certain stretches. Yeah, he was.
Certain stretches. Okay, that's valid.
Okay, all right, yeah. But 2 year 45 mil. That's actually quite a bargain considering you just extended Tyrese Halliburton as well. And what 5 year deal, right?
Yeah, but a bargain. A 2-year 45.
I mean, with all the contracts going on now, I think that's not too bad considering you're bringing a guy with championship experience now.
I mean, yeah, I guess. But Reeves got criminally underpaid. Like, that's a bargain. Bruce Brown's like a 20 mil for a 3-and-D guy that came off the bench for a team. Like, I could see why that wouldn't be a bargain. Like, I would say, like, maybe in the next 2 years if he plays good, it's like just, I don't know what the word is. Like, it's a balance. Like, it's a good
Perfect.
deal. It's like a normal deal, like a perfect deal.
Mhm.
But for now, like, it's looking a bit like they kind of jumped the gun too hard.
Well, if they gave him like 60 mil, definitely an overpay. But I don't think 45 mils too anything too crazy, right?
I mean, 22 mil for a player like that, I don't know. I think he was worth around like 16, 17 mil. That's probably what I would have given up for him. But I mean, if the Pacers want to compete, like the fit's there, like yeah, I guess yeah, 20 mil, like why not? Like if he
Well,
fits
he
that
still
well on the
fits.
team.
He fits their timeline. He fits the needs they have. So, or like they need the stuff they need. So, you bring him in. You bring in that veteran leadership, that experience, and you might as well have a 7 or 8 team now, or a
Mm.
7-8 seed team. I'm giving it a B.
Yeah, I say that and I give it a higher grade. Like,
Raptors sign Dennis Schroeder to a 2 year, $26 million contract. Andre, you know about Dennis Schroeder, right?
of
Just checking.
course,
Okay,
of
just
course.
checking in.
That's fair. That's fair to say.
All right, what
Um,
do you think?
yeah, I think it was a good move, man. It was like, you lose Freddie, like who's left in the market, who's played in the playoffs, who's had a significant role, who's also played a backup role, like who's worn so many hats, where you can potentially put him in, have him there for a bit, figure out where the Raptors' direction is going, right? Since losing Freddie, I think it was a good move. I would give it. It's 2 years, 26, right?
Yes, sir.
So about, yeah, 13. I would give it a B plus. I think it was a good move, man. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
Now, do you think he'll be starting behind, like in the starting lineup, or he'll be the backup now, with Scotty moving up to point guard?
Mm. Well, wait, you said Scotty's playing the one?
Scotty can play the one. We've seen that before. He can
I
handle
know
the
we
ball.
have, but like, are they gonna do that? I don't think they'll do that for
yeah,
82
they would
games.
do
I think it's
that.
depending on who they
You don't
play.
know that. You don't know that. I'm hearing talks of having Scotty be the full-time point guard.
That's nuts.
That is nuts.
Like he's
That's
going to play
crazy.
like the Ben Simmons type of role.
He's no Ben Simmons, man. I'm sorry.
But
He's not. He's definitely not.
he's better.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. um, man, that's a hot take to say, man. Him playing the one. Well, if he's playing the one, I don't think you could slide Shooter to the two, honestly. So I think he'd have to come off the bench. But I think they're gonna start the season probably with him starting, and they'll have Scotty at the 2 or 3. So I think, in my opinion, that makes the most sense. I don't know what you guys think, but
No, I completely agree. Like everything you said, I completely agree. I mean,
yeah,
Scotty at point guard. Come on, man. Like, okay, maybe at the end of games, if that's what they need, like if that's what the game calls for, then yeah, have him there. But Scotty playing the full time one when you have someone like Shooter, who, listen, I love Shooter. Like, I was dogging him because he flops so much. He's annoying, but like now he's on our team. I love him, bro. Like he's a cool guy. 13 mil, like a 2 year point guard. And Andre was right. Like we don't know the direction we're going right now. Like he's a guy that I feel like can fit if we're tanking or if we're winning. Like he's a guy that can win. He's a guy that can help mentor the young guys. He's a good locker room presence. Everyone loves him. He supports his teammates wherever he goes. So hey, why not? 13 mil, bring him in. That's a great deal. But
Mm-hmm.
Scotty at point guard, I don't know about that, man. Like
I don't know.
I don't know.
We got OG, we got Pascal, we got Otto Porter coming back. That's a lot of forwards to go around.
Bro, Otto Porter is forever in the hospital. OG can't even dribble a ball, bro. Like this guy might be gone next season. Siakam might get traded before this season. Like man, I think we're fine. And then Pirtle's like he's like our 48 minutes starting center. Like he's the only one that plays center.
He's
So
the
we're
only
good there.
center there.
We're good there, bro.
No love for Precious? Like,
No, that guy's Gonzo too. That guy's gone.
oh god. All right, but you know how like Dame might go to Miami, so that leaves spot for Lowry to go. Is that a possibility to come back?
Lowry.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it would be. Listen, I'm a big Lowry fan. I've been a fan of him when he was playing in Houston, right? So I mean, in terms of like legacy and then respect, all that, yeah, sure, it would be cool. But in terms of because we don't know the direction, what other than veteran leadership and veteran mentorship, what other service would Lowry add to such a young Raptor team, right? So, and we don't really know what's gonna go on. Like, where the OG is gonna be. Austin brought up a good point. We don't know where OG is gonna be. We don't know if Siakam's staying or going. So it's an awkward situation. So if there's a chance to bring him in for like not too much money, sure, but don't break the bank or break your back trying to bring him back. So
Yeah, for sure. Like get him on if at minimum, like if it's there, why not? Like to have someone like that, like this team has always struggled with leadership, I feel like in the past, so like yeah, it would help. But if Siakam, OG, like if everyone's gone and it's just young guys, like I would feel bad for Larry to be stuck on this team when he wants to win another championship.
Yeah, another chip for him. I'd say go to Chicago if anything. Reunite with DeRozan.
That
that
seems
actually
hopeless,
wouldn't be
though.
too bad.
That
That
seems
wouldn't be too
hopeless
bad,
though.
honestly.
That team has no direction, dude. I feel bad for those guys in Chicago.
I mean, they just lost Pat Bev to the 76ers, right?
Yeah, they did. They did.
So who knows?
How did you
You
find
know,
that deal? Did you like the Pat Bev deal, Ryan?
the Pat Bev to Philly,
Yeah.
I thought it was an okay move. I didn't think it was anything too groundbreaking, but
It's not league changing to you? That's not league
it's not
changing?
that elite. It's not that elite changing to me, because they still James Harden's still on the roster, so that's still their starting guard alongside Tyrese Maxey, right? So I don't know if that's groundbreaking news right now, but if Philly makes a push for Dame, in my opinion, they have a good shot at that. Um, that might be a little more significant considering he's the next only guard
Alright.
next up.
Here's my question then. What's more significant? This deal or the Georges Niang to Cleveland deal?
I mean, Georges Niang to Cleveland was pretty groundbreaking to me.
Alright,
Considering
dude.
they had no small forward, right?
Okay. I mean, Philly has no real point guards. Like, if you called James Harden like a turnover machine, that a point guard, then I don't know, man. I don't know.
Shots fired. Oh,
Hey, I'm not a James Harden fan. I'm not taking it.
Alright, dude. That's all good. That's all good.
All right. So, speaking of point guards and moving on, Fred VanVleet, 3-year, $130 million deal to the Rockets. This was a big deal.
The biggest deal of the season.
Yes, sir.
And I gotta say, like, I think this deal is a lot of money for Fred VanVleet. It probably isn't the greatest, but listen, bad contracts go around the league these days like it's nothing. And for the fit that he's gonna have in Houston, I love it. Like, there's a bunch of young guards. And it does sound weird because they have so much guards. Like, you need a veteran guard that can set the table, that can play with these young guys when they're bad. Because here's the thing, a lot of times with these young players, they don't have a guy that can set them up, teach them the ways, like teach them a good system, and like give them the ball in the spots they need. And then you end up finding guys that are bust that even like I feel like Wiseman, but like there's some guys that maybe like Bagley where like he just never gets put in the spot. He never gets the ball in the right spots to produce. So if you have VanVleet, he can set up the guys. He can teach them because I mean they're all guards. They're all the young players pretty much. Like he's a guy that can just be there, help the guys, teach them how to play good basketball, mentor them, and just teach them winning ways. Like I love bringing in young guards like this, or veteran guards to help the young guards get better.
I think basketball wise, love the deal. Contract wise, not so much. But from the basketball point of view, Fred VanVleet was an undrafted guard. And all these young guys, they're what? Lottery picks, first round draft picks. They they didn't really have to they had to work, but compared to what Fred had to do, like he bet on himself constantly. And then you have Amon Thompson just coming in. You have Kevin Porter Jr. You have Green. Like these guys were just lottery picks. It kind of came easier to him, but then they're not taking it seriously down in Houston. So you bring in a guy with a hard work ethic, a hard like you've seen the video of him training with Green, right? VanVleet and Green just training, just running down the hill. Like, I think that's really good hard work, really good leadership right there off the bat. I think basketball wise, he does a lot already to show the type of culture he wants to implement there in with the Rockets. So I think basketball wise, A plus. Contract wise, C plus. So we'll average that to maybe a B minus.
I didn't give it a grade. I'd give it an A. I love it. Even with the contract, nah, I think it's fine. Bad contracts go around the league like it's nothing.
I know,
Bring him in.
but still an overpay.
Yeah, I mean, it's overtake, but they had like $1 million of cap, like not million, like $1 billion of cap space. Like they had too much cap space. But yeah,
Andre,
Yeah. I'm like torn again between you two. You guys both bring up good points. I like how Austin brought up, bad contracts go around, and it's true. Like some players are really overpaid, but is it wrong to give Fred VanVleet that kind of money? Considering what Ryan you just said, his story, where he's been, how far he's come. That's like he's the epitome of like championship pedigree. And like you said, betting on yourself. So why not bring someone who's been to the top on a team that was counted out, you know? But they fought back and won. So why not bring that to a young franchise and then try and build from there? So I think it's a good move. Contract, sure, you can fight, yeah, a little overpaid, but I'm a big Fred VanVleet fan, so I'm gonna give it an eight. I'm gonna give it an eight.
yes
Okay.
sir, yes
There is
sir,
a little bias
yes
in there.
sir.
I'm not gonna lie. There is a little bias, but
It doesn't
I
hurt.
mean, I guess it doesn't hurt. He'll probably be the only consistent guy like the next 2 years though. So
yeah.
I mean, you seen Jabari Smith? He's kind of going crazy. I don't know. He might take a step this year.
I mean, like summer league Jabari, I like that guy.
He's cooking. He's cooking.
He's cooking for real. All right, all right. Another former Raptor, Yuta Watanabe, going to the Suns on a 1 year contract. I love this deal. I think it's an A plus by the Suns because undisclosed amount, so probably a minimum, and they bring in shooting and a big body, so I think it's great considering they have no money, right?
Yeah.
They're bankrupt right now. So
I actually want to tie in the other minimum deal that they had. I want to like Eric Gordon also signed a minimum with this team as well.
I think it's a 2 years, 6 million. Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty much minimum deal.
yeah, pretty much.
So Watanabe and Eric Gordon pretty much for the minimum for this team is actually a lifesaver. I mean, they're lucky that they have KD, Beal, Booker because I feel like no vet would do this for just a random team. But I mean, Phoenix got it done, and whoever's negotiating these deals, I mean, good on them because Watanabe and Eric Gordon are both guys that could probably make upwards of 10 mil this season. So I got to give both of these deals an A plus easily because these are rotation guys that you're playing in the playoffs. And Eric Gordon's the one that I really want to talk about is because Phoenix, they had four guys. They have Aiden, Beal, Booker, and KD starting. They didn't have that fifth guy that they could rely on when it comes down to clutch time. Like when you need to have five guys that you can trust on the floor. Eric Gordon easily fills that spot. He plays rugged defense, great shooter, great leader. He's a winner. He can play big minutes. He's a big body. He can dribble, attack the basket. I mean, he does everything you would want for a fifth guy on a starting lineup with these star-studded players. So easily an A plus. Both of these deals.
I just hope he doesn't trash the young guys on the team.
No, hopefully he does, bro, because Houston deserved it, man. Those guys are bums over there, man. Maybe VanVleet will do that to them this season, you know?
Maybe, but like I don't want it to ruin the chemistry if you're fighting for a championship.
Oh, man. If you have Booker, Beal, Durant, like, you got tough love, bro, for real, man. That's just tough love.
Andre?
Yeah. What's that guy's name again? Watson. Watson
Yeah.
how much I don't know. I do know.
Yeah,
I do know
Utah.
he played.
Just say Utah. Don't worry.
Yeah, I do know. Yeah, he was playing for the Raptors a little bit, and so in terms of his, yeah, that I don't really too much about him. But you bring up Eric Gordon, I do like that. That's another good move I like, and yeah. So Eric Gordon, I would give it a B plus. The other guy, like I said, I don't really know too much about him, so I can't really give a grade on that one.
It sounds like you're gonna be giving me a lot of B pluses today.
Listen, I've been
That's
looking
true.
at what I see, and then I see if it makes sense, and if it doesn't, then
Fair,
go for it.
fair.
Yeah.
I like the Eric Gordon deal as well. I think that's a
Mhm.
solid A considering the contract and what he brings. But we'll see if the fit works. Because you can throw a lot of stars together, but that doesn't mean they'll win.
The
Mm.
fit, the fit of Eric Gordon on the team.
I
Eric
mean,
Gordon's fit. I mean, he can fit on any. He fit on Houston's trash ass team, like, and he's fit on winning teams before too. Like, I think he's just a winner. Like, he'll be the guy that does everything that the stars won't do. You know what I'm saying?
I
That's what I
Yeah,
mean,
feel
that's a
like.
good point. That's a
He's
good
like a
point.
he's
that's
like a
good.
plug and play kind of player.
He's
Yeah.
he's just one of those like final roster spots. He's cool. Like
Eric Gordon.
that
He's
kind
I
like
of
mean,
a
if
he's like a starter on champion. He would start on on Milwaukee. Like he would start on like any championship team. He would start on Boston. I feel like. I feel like
if,
he's
if
like big money.
yeah, if you consider like all the things you guys said in terms of what he can do, like he brings a lot. So it's definitely for him. I see it's like a potential to win a championship, and he said, you know what, I've played all these different roles. If my time is coming, let me just get a chip, and then I'll go from there. So I think it was a really good move.
Yeah.
okay. All right, that's fair. That's fair. Just a few more because I want to move on to the remaining free agents as well.
Right.
Jeremy Grant resigns with the Blazers on 5-year, 160 mil, and this is considering the fact that Damian Lillard might leave. What does that mean for you guys?
You want me to go?
Sure.
All right, because I feel like this deal is crazy, and I think this deal was pretty much agreed to before Dame requested the trade, and they're still gonna have to go through it. That like they don't have to sign it, but like I mean, obviously they can't be a dickhead and not sign it. But damn, this deal is way too much for Jeremy Grant. Now the thing, like I said with Van Vliet, bad contracts do go around. At the end of the day, it is tradable asset, and he is a good player. Like, but the fit on this team right now, I just don't see it. Like, I have to give it a C just because the fit's not there. Like, he's gonna be stranded on this team that is just trying to rebuild. And Grant, I mean, he does want the ball a lot, but when you have Scoot Henderson on the team, when you have Shane Sharp on the team, like you don't want someone like this to kind of get too much touches. So I mean, probably a C or even a C minus. Just too much money for a guy that you don't really want on your books for the next few seasons.
I think it's empty calories at this point. I think he just got the bag and now he's just going to do what he wants. Doesn't care about the development of the young guys.
Yeah.
Not saying I don't think he's the type of guy. Jeremy Grant's a great player, and he definitely has all-star potential, like we saw in Detroit. But wow, 160 million. That is a lot of money for
Yeah.
a guy that the Portland's trying to rebuild right now. They don't need a 28, 29-year-old on the roster. They need to go younger. So I think he's going to play out this one season, request a trade the next, like we did with Bradley Beal, like we did with Kevin Durant. Like I think that's what's going to happen.
Is he gonna make it to the trade deadline? You think?
Nah,
He's probably gone.
he's gone. He's gone. Gone. Andre.
Yeah. I have to say, it seems as though like the move they made, Portland, bringing him back, for that contract, it is massive. Like you guys said, he is a good player. Um, he got his bag, so he's pretty much good. But they also have Scoot, so it seemed like they're definitely preparing for Lillard. Lillard already announced that, yeah, you know what, I want out, so they're just securing whatever all-star talent they can. They're gonna try and pair him up with Scoot, and then go from there. So it is a massive con. Even when I saw it, my jaw dropped. I'm not gonna lie. I saw the
Yeah,
paper.
yeah.
Really? I'm like, holy, this is what you guys are doing now. So, um, yeah, I'm not. I can't really give too much about it. because I have to wait and see. Like I want to see the tandem between him and Scoot. Then I could give you like a more accurate grade. But right now, considering the money, the situation, let's go with a B minus. How about that?
Okay,
That
changing
cool?
it up. No, but I think you bring up a great point because with these all these young guys nowadays, like you kind of want to if they're that good, like if Scooter's that good, you could definitely push for
You actually
for
make a good point.
contention
Yeah.
as soon as possible. Like we seen with Memphis, like John Morant on his rookie deal currently. This is kind of the best time, even with Doncic. Like it's the best time to build around him because they're not making any money. So if you can get some talent around them, like Jeremy Grant, he's good. He's a good player. Like maybe if someone else wants to come through, you have a lot of cap space with all these young guys on the team. Like yeah, it's not a bad idea to see if this could work for now, and maybe next season they could build on top of this.
That's actually a really good point. I did not even consider it because Scoot would be in the number one pick in any other draft, in my opinion, if
Yeah.
it weren't for Wemby. So if Scoot's your number one option moving forward, and you have a good number two in Jeremy Grant, there is a possibility they could be like a top three seed next year, like right off the bat.
Damn, that's a
Next
bold
year.
take.
This year or next year?
Holy.
This year.
This year, three
This
seed.
year.
You gotta hold your horses, man. I'm sorry, bro. They don't got no threes on the team, bro. They have no threes.
I mean, if you're flipping Dame for
For who?
assets,
For Ben Simmons? Then yeah,
Oh,
top two
no.
seed, bro. Yeah, that's a top two seed right there.
if you're flipping Dame, like if you're trading him, you're gonna get a buttload of stuff, and that stuff you get can either be valuable in the now, or you trade them for even more great pieces to surround your core right now.
I just wish they traded Dame like 2 seasons
Earlier?
ago, because they would have got
Yeah.
so much more. They would have got the Rudy Gobert package for him, but now they're
The
about
six, like the 6,000 draft picks. I know.
yeah, they would have. But yeah, that's interesting though. Next season, top three seed. Damn.
Possibility. Like there might be one point, in the season where they enter like a top three,
Oh right,
and
right.
then slip back down.
Because you forget they still have Nurkic on the team, who one
Yeah.
of my favorite players. I love Nurkic. Like they still have
Yeah.
Nurkic. He's a good starting center. Can play more than 30 minutes a game.
Mhm.
So yeah, interesting roster.
But we'll see. We'll see how it pans out from here. Honestly,
Right. It all depends on Scoot, honestly. Too much pressure on this rookie.
I know too much too. Like more than Wemby, low key.
Oh, that guy's a bum. That guy's a bum. He got dunked on, bro.
Bro, that doesn't mean anything.
How you 7'5" and get dunked on, bro? Come on, man.
Just I'll say two more.
Right.
Hornets bring back Miles Bridges on a 1 year deal. I think the 1 year 7.9 isn't too bad considering it's not even double digits. We just need to know if the locker room vibes will still be the same.
I feel like they don't care. In Charlotte, like LaMelo Ball's dating a 34-year-old. He don't give a fuck. But Miles Bridges, like I think he was waiting to see if there were any offers out there for him. But he signed the qualifying offer instantly.
qualifying,
He didn't even wait. He literally just signed it right away. And I think he knew like in this situation, like for the PR and whatever, like if he signs a big contract, it looks so bad. And he knows that like he's a good player. Like he's gonna probably pick up where he left off, in my opinion. He's their starting three guard. He was their second best player, even their first best player at certain points in the season when he played. So yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a real grade you can give to this. Like it's just something that you probably knew was gonna happen. He's gonna sign a qualifying offer, play a season out, then get his bag next season. So yeah, I mean, it's just some business going on.
Mm-hmm. I think it was a fine deal. I don't think too much will happen. Like regardless if the Hornets do well or bad, he's going to get the bag next season because he's just that type of guy, right? We
Yeah.
saw the breakout last year, and he's probably just going to pick up like he said.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think Andre's available right now, so just move on a little bit. Last one I want to talk about is Grant Williams. Got traded, sign and trade to the Mavericks. And he signed a 4 year, $53 million, which is actually a really good deal for his
Yeah.
caliber player.
Yeah, but Boston just needed to. I mean, they had way too much money coming on the books for the next 3 seasons, especially if they're going to sign Jaylen Brown. Like, there's just not enough cap space to go around. And for Dallas, perfect deal. Like this is he's a winning kind of player. He's one of the best shooters from the corner last season. Great defender. He can defend threes, fours, sometimes even fives.
Mhm.
I don't know if he's a good locker room guy. I feel like he's just fun to make fun of. But I mean, it looks like he's a good locker room guy, and why not? If 4 year, 53 mil, like that's really really cheap for someone like Grant Williams. So I have to give like a B plus or an A minus.
I think the A is justified for Grant Williams, considering Dallas does need the defense. They have no defense with
No.
Luca or Kyrie, but I think bringing him in, he can be a solid defender for all positions, and he's just a good fit there. I think.
Yeah.
Andre, do you have any thoughts on Grant Williams going to Mavericks?
Yeah. I think it was a good move as well. And considering some of the contracts are going out, if it's on the budget, I think it was a great move as well. Like I thought he played like key minutes for Boston. When they were going through those deep playoff runs. So I like to move. Um, yeah. So I give it a B plus. Contract, player, what he brings. So I think it's a good move.
Back with the B pluses, but that's
Back
fine.
with it, man.
All right, just a few more free agents before we move on to Dame. I think there are a few more valuable pieces left in this free agency class that have not found a home yet. And you guys just let me know where you want them to end up in.
Mm.
All right, number one, Christian Wood. Where do you think he should end up?
I think the three teams that I have for him, because I have a bunch of names written down here as well.
Yeah.
And catch, I want to say the next name because the next guy, I'm actually really interested in this guy. Pause. I think for Christian Wood, either the Lakers, the Nets, or the Kings. Those are three spots that I can see him going. Just teams that kind of need a little bit of more offense on their team. And the Nets, I think probably my number one team I would like to see him on, because I think Brooklyn's such an interesting case where they have a bunch of young guys, they have a lot of cap space, and they kind of want to tank when they traded away KD and Kyrie. But now they're in a position where they kind of have a chance to contend, especially the East is kind of weakening up, I feel like, for the next few seasons. Like, they have a real chance to kind of go ahead and make a push right now. So, if he can go to Brooklyn, and I feel like Christian Wood, it's not going to take a lot to get him there. I feel like, I think I heard that no team is offering him more than like the minimum at this point, which
Mm-hmm.
is insane. So, if I'm him, you get minutes, you play alongside great players, like, you're gonna have a good opportunity in Brooklyn. Why not go there?
Fair enough, fair enough. I think Christian Wood in with the Warriors would be a really good fit, considering they do need a big man as well. And if no team is offering a big contract, just the minimum, why not go to a place where Steph Curry's still in his prime, right? This is what I think, though. And Andre, I know you got to dip real soon, but any thoughts for Christian Wood?
I got one. Maybe this might be a little too bold of a take. What do you guys think about the Raptors? Considering that they don't really know what's going. All they have is Pearl on their in terms of their five, but after that, they don't know who they have.
Oh, I actually like that.
That's my point. That's my
I actually
point.
like that. If they
Yeah,
don't know what direction they're going to, bring in a guy who might fill in a few holes, right?
exactly.
Hmm. I feel like I'm on the flip side on both the Warriors and the Raptors because Christian Wood, he's a horrible defender and he's been a pretty bad locker room guy. I feel like with the Raptors, that's kind of the last thing I want is more bad locker room guys. So I'll probably pass on him there. And for the Warriors, like I think the Warriors need a big body. Like they need a big center on their team. Wood is really a power forward. Like he's kind of stuck in no man's land the way he plays. So I don't know. I feel like he needs to go on a team where he can kind of be a four without having to be too like I don't know, like focused in on defense because he's not that guy on defense.
Mhm.
But if a team needs offense like the Warriors, like if they need some offense, yeah, like, it'd be good to go for him. But just him being so bad defensively is the reason why he's not getting contracts. That's really why. And yeah, it's just unfortunate. But if he can go to any of those teams and provide a good offensive boost, then yeah, I would like that.
Okay, but I think Nets is a good option, like you said.
Mm, that's fair. That's fair.
All right, Andre, I know you got a dip now, right?
Yeah, man. Sorry, but I gotta take off.
All good, bro. All
All
good,
good.
bro. Appreciate you having on.
No problem, man. It was fun, man.
All right,
See you,
take care,
bro.
man.
All right, I'll see you guys.
All right. So, who was your next free agent that you had off?
Yeah, I want to talk about Kelly Oubre. because he's an interesting one that I feel like no one was talking about and no one has been talking about, and I feel like he's someone that can provide such an interesting aspect to contenders that he's someone that I'll be offering like upwards of 20 mil to this guy. So
Wow, 20 mil.
I would, yeah. I mean, he averaged 20 points per game last season. He's a decent defender.
Well,
Locker room.
inefficiently, but yes.
I mean, we see him because there's one season in Phoenix that he started out. Oh, not started out. It was like the first half of the season. He was efficient, and it was just more about him wanting the ball too much that kind of killed it. But I feel like now in Charlotte, he's kind of settled into a role where he's kind of like their like the third guy, and he's not demanding the ball too much. So I feel like if he goes to a contender, like he'll understand that he kind of is that guy that can just sit back and take these catch and shoot jumpers, attack when he needs to. And he's seen guys like, especially this offseason or this playoffs, Caleb Martin, like he can definitely fill that role for a decent amount of teams. So for me, I was thinking the Lakers could maybe use someone like him. Who do you think?
Low key, I've been thinking Denver.
That's
I
not
think
bad.
I think a Denver fit would be nice, just because the loss of Bruce Brown definitely hurts, and he does provide a little bit more offense. I think, in my opinion, he's a better offensive player than Bruce Brown. Like
Yeah.
defensively, not so much, but I think if you lose Bruce Brown, you got to bring in a little bit more, let's say, offense to maybe try and offset whatever you lost.
Mm.
So Oubre to the Nuggets, to me, it sounds like a realistic option. I did have him going to the Bucks before they signed Malik Beasley, but heading to Milwaukee is not a bad deal since like they still need more wings. You can never have enough wings.
Never know.
Exactly. So I think the Bucks or the Nuggets would be a viable option to me.
That's not bad. I also wrote down the Nets, obviously, and the Kings. The Kings was another one I like to see, but them resetting Harrison Barnes like kind of kills that for me. I feel like
That's exactly why the Bucks were. I'm a little hesitant, right? Because Malik
right,
Beasley is going to eat up a lot of minutes.
yeah, and he kind of low key demands minutes, but still, like if he goes on a team that can provide him a good role, then I think he should go there, especially now that he has kind of no offers.
For sure, for sure. Got a few more names, and I think some of them might surprise you. John Wall.
Whew, I did not have that written down. John Wall.
Yeah, because no one's thinking of this guy right now.
No, that's crazy to me. I feel like he wasn't the worst when he was playing in LA. Like he could be
I don't,
a decent backup point guard, like not too much minutes, but
he's not a starting point guard anymore. I'm
No,
sorry.
probably
He's
not,
not that
no.
anymore.
yeah.
I think we could not have a Russell Westbrook with Kevin Durant reunion. Why not have a John Wall and Bradley Beal reunion in Phoenix?
Phoenix.
He
That's
doesn't have to
interesting.
start. He doesn't have to start.
No.
All he has to do is come off the bench and play when Bradley Beal plays.
I like that. If he stands for the minimum, why not bring in someone like
Exactly.
John Wall? Yeah, that's a good one. I'm trying to think right now. A team that could use a backup point guard in the playoffs. Not entirely sure. Maybe even Sacramento. I could see Sacramento. Maybe not Utah. I was gonna say Utah just because they have Sexton, but I feel like they want to move on from Sexton and maybe bring in someone like maybe they need more vets. I just think so. Like all these young teams, like I don't even want to rebuild, but you still need space for some of these older guys to kind of guide your younger players.
Yeah, like these past all-star caliber players, although they're not at that level anymore, they can still definitely provide something for these teams.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a space for all these
Otherwise,
guys.
yeah. Otherwise, John Wall's also heading to Mexico to play with DeMarcus Cousins. Like,
That it's criminal that Cousins and Howard don't have contracts. I feel like both of those guys have some kind of a
Deserved. They
space
have-
here.
I thought he should have stayed in Milwaukee when he was playing there,
Right.
but I guess they just want to free up some cap space, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
come on, Myers Leonard, like Boogie can provide more than Myers Leonard, and Myers
That's
Leonard was
what
playing.
I think so too, but I think you bring in John Wall, you bring in Cousins. There's also the injury concerns that come along with.
That's true.
Yeah, and if you bring in these guys and they can't provide because of their bodies, might as well just bring someone a little more mediocre to fill out the roster, right?
Yeah, I can see that as a good direction to go to.
Any other names?
Yeah, I want to maybe talk about Jalen Noel from Minnesota.
Mhm.
Surprised that he hasn't had a contract. He's one of these guys that, not I'll say like Tyus Jones with defense. Like he's kind of the role that I see him in, like a 3-and-D guy. Maybe not the greatest shooter, but he can do pick and roll. He can play about 15 to 20 minutes a game. doesn't hurt to bring him in for a team that needs a guard. So I had the Warriors as a great option for that. You have Chris Paul and Steph Curry, yeah, but like you need someone that can just be rugged on defense, like be that Gary Payne for them, like even the Juan Toscano Anderson, he can kind of fill that role in a way. So I mean, if any contenders need a backup guard, and if there's any injury scares, like I'm totally fine with Noel being that guy that can pick up those minutes.
Teams that need a backup point guard, I think, still include like Milwaukee. It wouldn't hurt to bring Noel into a system like that. Or
Right.
even like a fringe playoff team. Chicago doesn't seem like a bad choice either, considering they just lost Pat Bev,
Yeah.
like I alluded earlier, right?
Yeah, even a team like Indiana, like a lot of these teams that want to make a push for the playoffs, like you need guys like this, and I think Indiana has done a great job this season of bringing in guys like even like Obi Toppin they brought in this season.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Like it's important to bring some of these guys like you can add on the fringe that if things go south or if you need an extra body, like you have a quality player that can fill those minutes.
hmm hmm I think it'd be great for these younger guys to get opportunities as well, if even on like a minimum contract, right?
Yeah,
Just a few more names that I want to list off. T.J. Warren.
TJ
We've
Warren.
seen him we've seen him explode back in Indy, but not really ever since. But I think T.J. Warren could be, you know, trash minutes type of guy. Still give you like 15 in 3 minutes.
That's interesting. I can see maybe going to OKC, like a team that wants to make a push. You don't have the greatest scoring options out there. Like I love Isaiah Joe, but like if you can give those runs to TJ Warren, and if you're making a push, like he could definitely help you. Like maybe he's not the greatest defensively, but if he can shoot, he can ball handle a little bit, be someone on the outside that can hit some of these shots. Yeah, why not bring in someone like that in?
I say New Orleans. All their bench guys are defensive minded or not so much offensively. You bring in an offensive guy, and you like if your Brandon Ingram sits, if your CJ McCollum sits, TJ Warren can be your main ball guy because he's done that before, and everyone around him can play defense. So why
Right.
not have that? Try that out, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's not bad.
Hell yeah, I make good fits. They just don't
Yeah, that
listen
was
to me.
that was interesting, dude. That was like that's a good aspect. Hmm. I feel like we're
uh,
running low on a bit of time. Maybe you
yeah,
want to should we move on to the Dame talk or
sure
up to
thing.
you?
Just I just wanted to pull out one last free agent.
One last one. Okay. Let's go.
Bol.
Dude, Bull is not on the roster, bro. He sucks.
Bol.
I'm sorry.
Bol. I think San Antonio should consider him
Oh my god, dude. For the Twin Towers,
for the Twin Towers. I think that'd be a fun thing to try out. They're not competing at any time soon. I'm sorry, they're not competing.
what if Wemby is the GOAT? And what if he pops off? You never.
Then he'll carry Bol to championship.
You mean Bull will carry him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I mean, Bull, like, I think there's just some fit issues and some character issues that I was hearing about. That's the only reason I feel like he wasn't even on the roster. But, I don't know.
If anyone can whip him into shape, it's Pop.
It's Pop. It's not Spo. Maybe. No.
Maybe,
Miami,
maybe.
Miami has too much centers. They have Yurtseven over there. Like, they're blessed.
Yurtseven.
They're blessed.
No, not Plumlee.
Zeller.
Zeller. Yeah, I was thinking of the other white guy. But
Damn, bro. Jovic? Who else is on that team?
all right, Dame.
Yeah, let's go.
Dame. Okay. Obviously, there is always a chance that he stays in Portland.
That'd be hilarious, but that's sure.
That is true because it happened to someone before. I think. Oh, it happened to a lot of players like Kobe. Kobe's requested a trade out of
Yeah.
LA a few times, and
Happened to Duncan
Never-
as well.
yeah, exactly. Never got it done. Who knows? And I don't think Dirk's ever requested, but still.
Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe he did. I don't know.
Maybe.
Before the 2010s, maybe he did.
Maybe. Okay. I think there is a chance that because Portland already told Dame, we gave you that contract. We don't owe you to send you where you want to go.
Yeah, and that's valid. Like Dame should have argued. He should have tried to get a no trade clause. You know what I'm saying? Like he should have done that.
But that didn't happen, right? So I think Dame doesn't have to be traded, in my opinion.
No.
He can be unhappy. He can try and sit out, but I don't think he's the type of player to do that. I think Dame still wants to compete. He still wants to play. He's not the Ben Simmons type to be like, nah,
What do you mean by that, man?
nothing. but I think there's a chance he'll stay with the Blazers.
Mm-mm. If he does, that'd be a great fit with him and Scoot. But
Mm.
I mean, him saying all these things does kill his trade value a lot for some of these teams. Like, I think Boston does have an interesting package because I have three trade scenarios I had written down here, and Boston was one of them. And I mean, a team like Boston, like, would you want to give up all that when you're hearing all these rumblings about him being like unhappy and stuff? Like, it does change your mind on some of these things. Like before, like if Dame was like, I'm open to go anywhere, so many teams would be lining up and giving like the kitchen sink for him.
Exactly,
But now it's a bit tough.
bro. Like some teams would be giving up. Like OKC would probably give up all their draft picks, all 35 draft picks just for Dame.
35.
But knowing that he has literally Miami as the only choice and possibly a few other low-key names that hasn't been announced, it's harder to decide where he should go.
Right.
But let's say he does go to Miami. What would be a viable trade package and a third team to send Tyler Hero to?
Yeah, I think for that package it's probably just the Brooklyn deal where Tyler Hero goes to Brooklyn, Dame goes to Miami, and then a bunch of salary and Ben Simmons goes to Portland. So
I think
yeah,
Benjamin in Portland wouldn't be too bad.
it'd be so funny to me if he gets traded for Dame because that'd be like him getting traded for Harden and he's been even worse and he gets traded for Dame like he gets traded for someone better. That'd be great. No, but that's what I'm saying. I think the fit for I don't know why I'm making this about Simmons now, but like Simmons' fit in Portland would actually be pretty sick. Maybe he won't get the most minutes, but he'll get more touches. Like he'll play with some like more playmakers. I feel like than he has in Brooklyn.
I mean, what would the starting lineup be? Scoot, Simons, Grant, Simmons, and
Simmons,
then
Nurkic.
Jokic.
Yeah, I mean you have to bring either Sharper or Simons off the bench. So yeah, Simmons would be maybe the 3 or 4.
I'm probably bringing Sharp off the bench,
Yeah, for now probably yeah.
probably. But if he develops well, I'm trading Simons
Yeah, I was even contemplating like trading Simons. I think it's too early, but like if I see a little bit of a glimpse, I'm trading Simons as fast as I can.
because that trade value is sky high at that moment.
Yeah, and that contract
Yeah.
is big too. And and
It's
some
not
of this
that bad
money
of a. I don't think it's that bad of a contract. What
is it 490?
for 500? It's like 20 mil a year.
Is it actually?
Yeah, it's not that bad of a contract. Like obviously it's a lot, but
That's a bargain. I feel like.
it's a bargain for his type of player.
Yeah, for the production he provided. I mean,
Exactly.
maybe they brought on a shit team. Like maybe he's just an empty calories guy, like you said before, with some of these guys. But yeah, 20 mil doesn't seem that bad. Like his trade value is probably for 20 mil. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. That's what I'm saying, right? But yeah, I think if Dame goes to Miami, they're winning the chip.
Yeah, their roster is pretty star studded, and the fit is the thing. Like Bam and Jimmy have already been really good. You bring in like a guy that fills up all their issues because their issue is scoring. Like scoring has always been their issue, and you bring in one of the best scorers in the league. Yeah, like that's
Oh, that's
pretty
game
tough.
over. That's game
It is
over.
game over. Yeah,
That's
and they're
a-
all healthy guys. I feel like when it comes to playoff times, like all
Yeah,
of them play
they're-
big minutes.
They don't like you see Jimmy Butler get injured and he still plays it. Although not the best, he can still ball out
Yeah.
from time to time.
Yeah.
Bam is just a consistent guy. He doesn't get injured, and if he does, he recovers fast. And Dame, the only major injury he had was the abdominal one, and the next season he bounces back right away. So I think that's a very high chance of Miami winning the chip next year if he goes there.
Right, right,
And for Brooklyn, good fit for Tyler Hero. Develop even better.
exactly.
Develop even more.
And
Yeah.
Simmons.
We'll see how he goes. We'll see how he turns out.
He's coming back next season. I'm telling you, man.
Sure.
I'm sure.
In Brooklyn or elsewhere.
Okay, we'll see. But like wherever he goes,
Okay.
he's back, bro. He's back. I'm telling you, dude. Everyone's
Okay.
sleeping on him, dude. Y'all snoring on him.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Man. All right, dude.
I think speaking of Brooklyn, Dame to Brooklyn isn't too bad either.
Dame to Brooklyn.
Dame to Brooklyn. Obviously, Ben Simmons would have to be in that deal.
Of course, like he's just the best player in that deal. But
Salary, yes, but I think Dame going to Brooklyn provides a lot of interesting chances and opportunities for Bridges as well. Because now there's a definitive number one option compared to Bridges doing his best. But you combine him with an Iron Man, and that's a top 5 seed in the East.
That's interesting, yeah. And it'd be a place where Dame could be the number one guy. Like, he would still fulfill his wish in a way.
Yeah, but he's in a better situation considering uh, the roster's not in a aimless direction. The players around him have been in the playoffs, and he has a solid number 2 next to him.
Yeah, a lot of trustworthy guys on the ends. Like, you have Cam Johnson. Like, I love Cam Johnson on a playoff team. Like, he's someone that can play upwards of 40 minutes. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Dame to like, I think Brooklyn definitely is like, they can go to win now mode if they want.
Oh, I feel like Brooklyn's always in win now mode, considering they're just in New York.
That's true, yeah. That's true. Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Brooklyn can always just they can say, oh, we're going to relocate again, and teams will be like, yo, let's go.
Think about Brooklyn, I think the thing that puts them over the edge is Mikal Bridges being like the ultimate number 2 or 3 guy. Like, I think players would just love to play with him. Like, he seems like a great guy.
He seems like a great guy, honestly. He's probably one of my like top favorite players right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
like everyone loves him. Yeah,
just love watching him play too.
Do a celebration, bro. Can you do a celebration? Oh God! You don't know it. You don't know.
I know, but just I wasn't sure if it was like 2 fingers or 3 fingers.
Oh, you saw the WNBA player do it wrong. Bro, Mikal Bridges called her out, dude. It's like this, dude. It's like that.
What did she do?
She did this, I think.
Bro, what are you doing?
Like, does she know that this is 4? Like, this is 4. That's not a 3-pointer. This is a 3-pointer. This is a 4-pointer, bro. Yeah.
Nah, I think he should have done like Spider-Man or something.
No, if you do that, you're off the team. Like, if I'm the coach, you're on the bench, dude.
What?
That's corny, man. That's corny.
Bro, Miles Morales from Brooklyn. Like...
If you do that in a game, I don't know. I feel some type of way. But another interesting package I want to bring up, not package, but like just a theoretical swap of Lillard and Zion, maybe.
I had that one too.
Because people were talking about the Scoot Henderson, like, oh, trade Scoot for Zion, like the 3rd pick for Zion. What if you trade Lillard for Zion? Like, that would be interesting as well, because Zion's still super young. He's about 23. Like, he's
why not give it a shot, right? Why not give it a chance?
Like, he's someone that can fit on the roster. Like, yeah, you have Jeremy Grant, but like Zion can easily fill the 4. Maybe get rid of Nurkic at that point, because that fit's gonna be a bit tough.
Zion can play the 5. I think Zion can play the 5.
Nah, he can't. He's pretty bad defensively. Like, he's horrendous. Like, he's really bad.
I mean, you have some bad defensive 5s, and they work out fine.
Like who?
I'm out here thinking like Jonas Valanciunas.
They're not in the playoffs, and when they're in the playoffs, he's not playing. Like,
he's a solid regular season guy.
Yeah, regular season, yeah. But like in the playoffs, like if you want to push, like Zion's easily the 4. You need a 5 that can maybe stretch the floor, or like Brook Lopez would be the ultimate guy besides Zion. But like, if you could bring someone like that, like a shooting big that can play make a little bit, maybe Nurkic can be that. You never know. But Scoot, Zion, I'd love to see it, honestly.
And I love Dame reunites with CJ. Maybe they can actually have a chance now.
Right.
You have Brandon Ingram, the solid number 2 option right there.
Right.
And a bunch of defensive studs off the bench.
Yeah, like it's like they just have like the Pelicans, but Dame would just be like maybe a piece or 2 away from being contenders as well.
Maybe they might already be contenders. If they bring in Bobo.
Dude, bro, Bobo's shit.
I have one last team.
Mm-hmm.
Philly.
Yeah.
James Harden. And Dame. Swap.
I had the same thing, but I had the Brooklyn Nets coming in here as well. Giving up Simmons to the Blazers, a little bit of picks, and then Tobias Harris.
So regardless, it's just Simmons always going to Portland.
Yes, dude. Maybe that's my agenda, Ryan. All right, is there an issue? Maybe that's my agenda.
It's a canon event. That's what you got right there.
For real. But like, it just makes the most sense for salary, obviously.
Salary, yes. Fit, we need to see. But I think if Simmons does end up with the Blazers, he has a chance to finally be himself, play how he wants to, and they don't need to do anything because they're going to trade Jeremy Grant at the deadline regardless.
Yeah, dude. And Nurkic, like they're going full rebuild.
Nurkic is gone. I think Nurkic is gone.
I love Nurkic though.
If Dame is gone, Nurkic is gone.
That's true. Yeah, you kind of have to get rid of them both. Yeah.
I think those are the teams, in my opinion, San Antonio might be a dark horse if they want to compete right away with Wemby.
They probably shouldn't though. Like to be.
Let him develop on his own, right?
Yeah,
That's
and
what I think.
I had Boston with Jalen Brown and Lillard
Hmm.
having a swap maybe.
I don't
Maybe
see
that
that
could work.
happening though. The thing is, I don't see that happening.
I could see this happening more than the Philly deal, honestly.
Oh, even
'Cause-
though James Harden wants out of Philly,
Jalen Brown hates Celtics. They hate the Celtics. They hate it.
but he's the only place that can offer him the super max.
Yeah. See, that's the only thing that would probably change that up for me. But like, if it came down to like just like you look at the situations, Lillard to Boston, like him and Tatum are good friends. Like his fit there is pretty good too, and Blazers get Jalen Brown. Like his fit there is also really good. He fits the timeline kind of like he's 26, I think.
Well,
like-
he's a better timeline fit than Dame is.
Yeah, he is.
I just don't see it happening because you want to get the bag.
Yeah, if Brown didn't make All NBA team, that would definitely
No,
be on the
that
table.
probably would have been done.
Yeah,
That probably would have been
he
done.
probably already would have been gone by now. Like first day of free agency, he would have been gone. But now he's
Yeah.
thinking.
A lot of possible destinations, but I think the most viable ones are still Miami, Brooklyn, maybe New Orleans, and Philly.
Yeah, I have to agree with those ones as well.
Yeah. But who knows? Maybe some team will pull a trigger like we did for Kawhi.
That would be insane if one of these random teams come up and pull the trigger.
Or do you think that could like what team do you
Chicago.
think that could
I
happen?
think Chicago could pull with Zach LaVine maybe.
Zach LaVine, Lonzo for salary as well, and some first round. They have no first round picks. That's the only issue.
Yeah, like they're kind of fucked. But hey, you never know. Like maybe because the Raptors traded one first round pick. Like we traded one.
That's
one
true. No, but that was for an injury, like a Kawhi Leonard coming
Okay,
off
so
an injury.
here's what
right?
we do. Dame fakes an injury,
Ooh.
and then they trade him. He says he's unhappy with the doctors. Oh, interesting, interesting.
Or they all go to Golden State.
True.
So ending.
Bro, that, like the greatest pokers of our generation, all on one team, bro. Oh my
And
God.
John Wall says, "Hey, let me in on this
Hey,
too."
fuck it, let me hop in, dude.
It's a 4 guard lineup with Draymond.
With Draymond, yeah. What about Clay? What's up with Clay?
Clay can be the spark off the bench by that point.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he
Yeah,
can be a spark.
he
Yeah.
does his own thing.
That's funny. Interesting, dude.
Yeah, that's all I have for today.
Yeah.
It's a shame that Andre couldn't stay on, but had some good talks with him. Although he did give a lot of B pluses, but
Yeah.
I guess he just didn't want to offend anyone.
He's like a fair grader, bro. Like B plus is the safest grade you could give anyone, dude.
And us out here, D C.
Yeah, C, A plus, A plus.
All right, you can end this.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Quarter Kings with their hosts Austin Chang and Ryan Hugh, and we hope to see you in 2 weeks. I keep forgetting.